I'm here with Beth Huntington today, author of this amazing book, which is the Refashion Handbook. And she is going to teach us how to make a little girl's dress out of a women's sweater.
Yes.
So like a cute little sweater dress, which is exciting to me. And I mean, a lot of people are intimidated by sewing. And I always think that if you can sew a straight line, you can do just about anything.
You can. You have a basic sewing machine, just straight lines. If you know how to go back and forth, you can pretty much sew anything.
Because you actually don't consider yourself an expert seamstress by any means, right? I mean, so how did you first come about doing this or writing this book?
Well, I just wanted to have some clothes that fit myself and fit me perfectly, because you can't just go in the store and buy anything just right off the rack.
You can't. No. Even very expensive things don't always fit you just right.
Right. So just going out and getting some things and changing, altering it just a little bit, and you can have some clothes that fit you perfectly.
All right. So tell me about this project we're going to do today, because it's very intriguing to me. We have this. You have a T-shirt here.
A little girl's T-shirt that fits.
That fits her right now.
Yes.
So this is what we're using as the
pattern.
The pattern.
Yep.
And then this very attractive sweater, which actually is going to be a very darling.
Really cute for a little girl.
Yeah. It's not. I'm not going to.
I wouldn't wear that either.
Okay. Perfect. All right. So tell me what we're doing, Beth.
Well, what we're going to do is we're just going to scale the sweater down a little bit, and we use the T-shirt as a pattern. And so all you have to do is just take the T-shirt and lay it out right on top of the sweater, right where you want it, and then you know, line up the shoulders, line up the collar, and just kind of make sure it's right in the middle there, and then fold the sleeves in. So you've got the little archway for the shoulder seams, or for the sleeves, and then you're just going to take your scissors.
Wait, we're going to cut this?
Yes.
I mean, actually, I do cut sweat. I actually mostly cut wool sweaters, which I felt down, but this is not necessarily a wool sweater. This is like an acrylic kind of blend. But we can just cut it?
Yes, and people ask me that all the time, Happy. People are always wondering, if you can just cut a sweater, won't it just ravel? And no, it won't ravel right off. You know, of course, if you washed it without sewing it again, yeah, it probably would. But once you sew the seam, you're okay.
Okay, I'm taking a breath. Take a breath here. Okay, so we're going to cut this.
We're going to cut it, but we're going to cut it about a ½ inch away from the edge of the T-shirt.
Well, to allow for seams.
Yes, to allow for the seams. And then I'm going to start at the bottom here. And then, are you ready for this? Just take a breath.
I'm actually having a moment. Okay, no, this is good. This is good.
Okay, so we'll just cut it right up. And you know, you could, if you felt a little bit better, and if you were just starting and doing this for the first time, you might want to take your tape measure and mark this. But
we're just sort of doing, I'm actually like that too. I just sort of go. And wait, though, you are actually going in where the sleeve goes in.
Right,
so that's
you'll
important.
Make that little curve there for the armhole, and then come around. And
you just purchased this sweater at a thrift shop, right?
Yeah, probably for $1. Probably got it for $1 or something. Yeah, I've got a really good thrift store where I live, so I have lots of good deals to be had. So just cut up this side.
And when you lay the T-shirt out, it's important to put it probably like right in the middle, so you are capturing the center of the design.
Yes, depending on what you have. So you're going to take the sleeves, you're going to set those aside for later, because you'll be needing those. So when you're finished, you just take that off, and what you have is, it looks like this.
A sweater vest.
Yes, it looks like a little sweater vest now. But so you can see how it has the little curved lines for the armholes.
Okay, so what's the next step?
So now we have to turn it inside out. You just basically put the right sides of the sweater together. And then you can pin it if you want to. I don't usually pin it because I'm the Renegade Seamstress.
I know. Oh, I forgot to say that. This is the Renegade Seamstress. I'm actually the Renegade everything, so I love that about you. Okay, so then...
So you can pin it, and then you'll sew it up the side, but you'll leave the armholes open for now.
Okay, so we're going to actually, you can kind of see where right here is the start of the armhole, and then here is the bottom. We're going to sew a seam up there, just a straight seam.
½ inch with a ½ inch seam allowance.
Straight lines.
Straight line. But I will tell you though, when you start the seam, don't start at the top, start at the bottom, so that the
Right, yes.
So that it'll
Line
be
up the
even.
bottom.
Yeah, because if you start at the top, it might stretch a little bit and you'll have uneven on the bottom. So make sure you do that.
All right.
So, okay, so we'll pin it and we'll sew it.
And we'll get started.
Yeah.
All right, Beth, so we've actually sewn the side seams of our dress, and it was really easy, just 2 straight lines, just like we said.
Yep.
And one thing I want to talk about is a lot of people are really intimidated by sewing machines, and they're actually not that intimidating. I mean, you can go to a big box retailer or like a warehouse and get a sewing machine for $100.
Yeah.
Probably, right?
Really
89 to
sure.
130.
On
That's
sale.
going to do exactly what we're doing
Just
right
basic
here, right now.
sewing machines.
And
yeah.
they come with fantastic instruction manuals.
Yes,
so
they do.
I just want to say that because I think people are intimidated by that.
They are, yeah.
Okay, but now we've got this adorable little almost dress.
Inside out dress.
But we're
yeah.
going to now put the sleeves on.
Yes.
And so what do we do next?
So we cut the sleeves off earlier, and so now what you would do is you would measure whoever you're.
So here's the remainder of our sweater.
Whoever you're making the dress for, you just measure from their shoulder down to how long you want the sleeve, and then you would cut it off. But the one thing you want to make sure and do when you cut it is to leave a little bit of an angle. You're just making a little, I'll show you, I'll lift it up.
For like the shoulder.
Yeah, so it's not a straight line, you know, but you've got the shoulder on there.
So, and then if you are making this for someone who maybe isn't with you, I would go a little long because you can always bunch it up or like cuff it or something.
Yeah,
So,
or it could be 3/4 length if
yeah.
it's too
or
short.
you could go short. Yes, okay.
Yeah. But a little girl's arm is not going to be that big, and our opening for our arm is not that big. So what we have to do first is turn this inside out and just make this a little bit smaller by sewing a seam just like right down here and taking off some of that bulk.
All right, let's do
So
that.
we'll do that next.
All right, perfect. Okay, Beth, we've sewn our sleeves, and when we did that, we actually had to cut away a little bit of the extra fabric.
Yes.
And like this is right side out, but yours is inside out. How do we then put sleeves on our cute little dress?
Well, first you want to turn it right side out, and your dress will be inside out still. So when you attach the sleeves to it, you're going to actually put them up inside the dress.
Facing inward.
Yes, facing
Okay.
inward, so that the
It lines up.
it lines up, and the right sides will be together. So the right sides of the
Actually,
sleeve.
that's sometimes the challenge of sewing is kind of figuring out how to line things up. So we've basically put that sleeve in the armhole of the dress, lined it up. We're going to pin it in place, and then I'm guessing we're going to take this part of our sewing machine off so we can do the armhole.
And the one thing you want to make sure and do is get the seam of the two bottom armhole seams lined up and the shoulder seams lined up.
Here's a seam. Here's a seam. Line up. Start from there. Is that right?
Yep. Yes,
All right.
that's exactly right.
Perfect. Let's get that done.
Okay.
All right, Beth, you have sewn our sleeves in now. And I think a lot of times when people think about making a garment, they are so technical or thinking it has to be exactly right, but we just sort of eyeballed it.
Yes.
And especially with kids, that is just fine. And you sewed the sleeves onto this dress, which when
With a 1/2-inch seam allowance.
with a 1/2-inch seam.
Yeah.
And I'm going to do the big reveal now because
Okay.
I'm very excited about this.
So cute.
I actually have a little girl I have in mind for this
Yeah.
dress. So
Oh,
I'm
she's gonna
excited
love
about it. I know.
There it is.
Look at that. We have actually been working on this for less than 30 minutes. And how much did you pay for the sweater?
Probably $1.
So $1 in 30 minutes, a beautiful little sweater dress. Our little model is all smiles in her new sweater dress. We made it in just a few easy steps with a sweater we picked up from a thrift store. Thank you so much. I can't wait to do more projects with you.
It's been so fun. Thanks for having me.
To learn more about Beth and the project we made today and her book, which is the Refashion Handbook, visit our website.